So Psalm 23 is undoubtedly the best known passage in the Bible. When I go to visit people in extended care homes or people who are palliative, shut-ins, people who cannot get to church, I always ask if there's a scripture that they would like me to read, and 99% of them say that it is the 23rd Psalm. Maybe it's because it's so personal and individual. When we read it, we don't think of David shepherding his sheep. We think about the Lord being our shepherd. It brings us comfort. Since this psalm is so familiar, we city slickers may miss the depth of its meaning. And so I did some research on sheep and shepherding, and as well, my friends Jan and Dave Sinclair used to have a sheep farm in Elsinore, and they have shared some excellent insights about sheep. Let's begin. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. David was a shepherd himself, and he saw the Lord as his shepherd. He believed that the Lord takes care of us. In a book by Robert Ketchum, he writes about a Sunday school teacher who asked the class if someone could recite the 23rd Psalm. A little 4.5-year-old waves her hand. The teacher is skeptical, but the little girl came to the podium, faced the class, made a bow, and said, "The Lord is my shepherd, that's all I want." She bowed and sat down. Even though she missed a few verses, she captured the essence of David's song. A good shepherd loves his sheep. He goes to a great deal of trouble finding the finest grazing, ample winter feed, and clean water. He provides shelter from the storm and protects from enemies and disease. In the gospel reading today, Jesus identifies himself as the good shepherd that gives his life for his sheep. He makes me to lie down in green pastures and leads me beside still waters. I found out that sheep don't like to lie down. They must be free from fear, and there can't be any tension in the flock. A jackrabbit can stampede a flock. Dave Sinclair says if they aren't watered and fed, they will not lie down. Otherwise, they just keep on eating. Sheep maintain their status by driving away other sheep from their grazing spot. They are ready to fight. They won't lie down. They get sick and lose weight. Are we easily frightened? Sometimes. Generally, it's the unknown that frightens us. However, in our society, there's also a struggle for status and self-recognition. And nothing quiets our souls more than knowing our shepherd is near. Sheep need water to survive, and they will not drink from turbulent water. In John chapter 7, Jesus says, "If a man thirsts, let him come to me and drink. Our shepherd leads us beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul." Well, sheep are careless and curious and cantankerous creatures and often need to be restored. Apparently, sheep get lost faster than any other animal and sometimes just tip over and they're unable to get back up. What a picture of what God does for those of us who get lost. If you are cast down or strayed from the flock, the shepherd will restore your soul, bring you back, and put you back together. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his own name's sake. Even though the path is perfectly clear, the sheep will stray away. Most of us know the right trail we should take, but so many things can lead us astray. We need the shepherd, to guide us in the right way and keep our sense of direction. The rod and the staff, they comfort me. Well, it's interesting. Today's shepherds carry a rifle and a small backpack and a staff. In the Middle East, the shepherd only carried a staff and a rod. A rod is a little club that's tied to their belts, and it's thrown with amazing accuracy at the coyotes and stray dogs that might harm the sheep. The staff was used to guide the sheep onto a new path. Even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. There is no need to fear death. When the shepherd is leading the flock home at night, he takes them into shadowed areas where the wolf might be waiting in the shadows. The sheep must follow the shepherd closely to be safe. This particular picture that you see, I took in Israel, and it is noted that this is probably where Psalm 23 was written about, because down in the valley, there's a roadway that goes from Jericho to Jerusalem, and the robbers used to hide in the hills there and rob people as they were going along that road. Notice I said, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Notice the word through. Walk through the valley. We don't stay there. We're passing through the blackness to the light. The shadow of death cannot harm us if we stay close to the shepherd. You anoint my head with oil. Well, this is absolutely fascinating. The shepherds put oil in the sheep's noses and their heads to prevent insects from breeding in their noses and to keep the flies away. At a dinner party in those days, the host would go around putting expensive fragrant oils on the guests' foreheads. This would neutralize the body odor and the smells of fields that could spoil a dining experience. In our culture, it would be like giving people a stick of deodorant when they arrived at the house for dinner. Also in David's time, oil was a sign of rejoicing. To be anointed was being splashed with love and joy. My cup overflows. Shepherds would carry extra water to share with the sheep when necessary. It would be generous because the sheep needed water to survive. Another meaning might be the host of a dinner party who would fill the cups to overflowing, indicating that you were still welcome to stay. An empty cup meant that they were hinting that it was time for you to leave. And all of us understand the last verse, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. What comforting words. It just makes us feel at peace. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. And the Lord is your shepherd. And now we're going to sing a beautiful hymn.